In the church, we spend a lot of time talking about right behavior. We all want people to do what's right and to avoid doing wrong. In principle, that's fine. It's good that we have high expectations of ourselves and of others. It's good that we want to promote right behavior. But in practice, actually doing this can be very difficult. The core problem is that people rarely ever think they're really doing something wrong. Society may say something is wrong. God may even tell us that a behavior is sinful. But in the moment when we act, we usually convince ourselves that what we are doing is really okay. We know we shouldn't steal from others, but then we tell ourselves that the person we're stealing from doesn't need what we're taking, so that makes it okay. We know we shouldn't lie about others, but then we tell ourselves that the person we're criticizing is horrible to us, and so they deserve having someone gossip about them. We know that Jesus tells us not to commit adultery, but then we tell ourselves that it's only one time and no one will ever find out, so that makes it okay. And God even commands us not to kill, but then we tell ourselves that the people our government is executing are so-called bad people, so that makes it okay. Over and over again, we see this same terrible problem. No one ever really thinks they're doing evil, because in the moment when they act, they convince themselves that in this context, in this special situation, their behavior is perfectly fine. The writer of Proverbs knows how dangerous this problem is. That's why Proverbs chapter 16 verse 2 gives us a clear warning. People may be pure in their own eyes, but the Lord examines their motives. Sure, we can convince ourselves over and over again that we have good reasons to sin. We can justify and defend our actions to ourselves and even to others. But none of that makes our actions right. Even a so-called necessary evil is still evil. We may fool ourselves into thinking that our actions are fine, but we cannot fool God. Because our hearts are so open to this temptation, and because we are so willing to fool ourselves, it's important that we have good friends who can keep us honest. We often think that a good friend is someone who will always defend us, regardless of the right or wrong things we do. But that's not true. The best friend we can have is the one who speaks to us honestly and gently and tells us when we are doing wrong, even when we've convinced ourselves that we are right. I hope we can all have a friend like that, and I hope we can be that honest friend for those around us.